Hi, my name is Amber. Welcome back to my channel, Books and Beaches. So I am a little casual today, but it is summer and that is just kind of the nature of things. And I am slowly getting back into kind of the rhythm of filming. And so while this video is meant to be finally my May wrap up of what I read, I figured I'd just kind of give you an update of where I've been and what's been going on, because I think it's been a few weeks since I have put a video out. So the beginning of June was a little bit crazy. We started with the last week of school, which was really busy. So for any of you out there that work at education, you know the last week of school is just kind of crazy. There are always so many different events going on. Not that May wasn't crazy too, because May had so many different events going on. But for someone that works in technology like me, we also this year collected a whole bunch of Chromebooks. So all of our 8th grade Chromebooks had to be collected this year because they were at basically the end of their life. So we say, so we collected them because those will be redistributed elsewhere. So I work in 2 different buildings along with my Chromebook paraprofessional, who is such an amazing person to have at my side. But we collected probably almost about 400 or 500 computers and all of their chargers over those last couple days, and then had to track down any missing equipment. So that definitely took a lot of time in that last week. And then I basically hit the ground running for the second week in June with some events that I had going on. So not only was it my own personal birthday, it actually was my channel birthday. So I had high hopes of doing some celebration there. But as you can probably still hear, perfect timing, I am pretty sure I got a pretty nasty set of germs from some of those Chromebooks that we collected. And I had quite the summer cold that I'm still trying to get over in that second week of June. And one of my wonderful cousins got married last week, so I'll try to insert some pictures. And so we had a lot of events going on last week, which just kind of took me away from not only, some filming stuff, but reading as well. So June has definitely started off being a bit of a slower month, and you'll see that May was as well as I talk about these books. But yeah, so we just had a lot of fun stuff going on. I actually got my first tattoo, which is book themed, which is pretty exciting. I believe I put a picture of it in my community tab, but we got matching Harry Potter tattoos. So my 2 cousins and myself went Monday of last week and got those. They're healing quite nicely. But if you are not familiar with the Harry Potter series, these 3 stars are actually featured in the top corner of each page of the Harry Potter books, which we thought was really kind of cool. And since there are 3 of us, the stars, mean something a little bit more to us, because there's 1 star for each of us, and they don't necessarily scream Harry Potter unless you've read the books. And even our aunt, who is quite the, Harry Potter fan, when we saw her at the wedding, she was like, I wouldn't have even known that was connected to Harry Potter, because she's like, I just wouldn't have realized it or whatever. So we now have that matching, which is really kind of cool, and we all did put them on our wrists. So we started the week off that way. Then I got sick, and I was sick over my birthday. And then the rest of the week, we kind of just had a lot of fun and exciting events to celebrate her wedding. So like I said, I'll try to include some pictures because it was just, a great way to celebrate the week. So then jumping into this week, I am just still trying to get back to normal and trying to get into somewhat of a summer routine. And yeah, just finding, the right balance of making sure I let myself get over this cold, but then, get into my summer workout routines and things like that. And I've also, kind of jumped into the dating scene again, which is always fun. So just finding that right balance is is a little bit difficult. So hopefully that explains kind of where I've been. But I am really, really hoping kind of to jump back on the train here and make sure over the summer my content is a little bit more consistent, because I really do love this community and I love filming stuff for BookTube, and I have all of these ideas of things that I want to put out this summer. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at the books that I did read in May. May, like June, was a little bit slower, just the nature of everything that was going on, but I did have some really good reads. I've got my Goodreads pulled up here on my computer because it seems like it was so long ago, and it kind of was, because let's face it, we're mostly through June already. So I was able to listen to the short audio that was called One of Our Own, and this was by Lucinda Berry. Now, this is, I want to say, like a really short 3-hour audiobook, but you are getting the perspective of a mother who is working a call center and gets a call from a girl who, basically this is like a suicide call center, and she is basically ready to end her life because of a video that has gone viral. And this mother finds out this could be a girl that goes to her son's school. And I don't want to tell you too much more from there because it is such a short story, but it is a very impactful story. And coming off of just reading Lucinda Berry's, oh gosh, no, I can't remember the other story that I had just read by her. We read it for book club. Oh, Saving Noah. Excuse me. Both of those were such impactful stories. This one, you know, put a lot into a very, you know, short story. It gave quite a large punch for being the short audio that it was. All right. After that, I picked up a book that I had off of NetGalley, and this was Mercury by Amy Jo Burns. Now, I had never read anything by Amy Jo Burns before, and so I wasn't quite sure what to expect with this one. This was a book that I had received an email from the publisher asking, or just like sending the link and saying here. And so I said, I think a lot of people talk about her book, The Shiner. And so I said, okay, why not? And I think I remember hearing that it was set in the 90s. And I said, okay. And this one, you are getting multiple different perspectives of people involved in this family of basically the small town. And this woman who, it's her and her mother that moved to this small town, and she gets involved with actually 2 different brothers in this family that's kind of well known in this small town, but ultimately winds up with one of the brothers, and they end up pregnant and marry young. And so you go through kind of all of the years of the family dynamics with this family, and how the matriarch of their family runs, and how each brother plays a role in their families. And there's a little bit of mystery involved. For me, because this one was so literary, I wanted more from it, especially because in the beginning, they hint this mystery at you right away. And so you're trying to figure out like when you're going to get the answers to this mystery, because I forget who stumbles upon, it's something that they stumble upon in the attic of a church. And so I found it to be a little slow, and that might be because I wanted more from the mystery, and this one was so literary. So I ended up giving that one a 3, but I don't necessarily think it was because it was a bad story. It might just because, like I said, it was just a little too literary for me. And I won't necessarily shy away from reading more Amy Jo Burns. It'll just be, I'll have to look into it a little bit more. So there was that one. After that, I stayed on my Netflix kick, and I picked up Every Time I Go on Vacation, Somebody Dies. And this is by Catherine Mack. And I had no idea what to expect about this one. But I guess I knew it was going to be a mystery. I didn't know if it was going to be a thriller or not. And I definitely would put this one in the cozy mystery category over the like hardcore mystery category and more of the mysteries that I would normally pick up. But we get this author who has written a series of books, and they are like cozy mystery books based on a relationship that she had with a guy in Italy. And now she is on a book tour, if I'm remembering right. Like I said, this is a while ago. This is back in May. And they are back in Italy. It's her and her sister and this guy she wrote the books about and a few other authors, and then all of these ladies that are like fans of hers. And a lot of things start happening when they're in Italy, and they almost suspect that either someone is trying to kill her or they're trying to kill the man that the books are about. And so they're trying to figure out what's going on and how all of these things are connected. So it was kind of a fun ride. It was cute, but definitely more on the cozy mystery side of things, where I'm used to, you know, more of our dark mysteries, so to say. So I liked it. I enjoyed it. I think it's going to be part of the series. I think they're going to be called the Vacation Mysteries, because this does say it's going to be number 1. So I gave it a 3. And like I said, 3 is never a bad rating for me, but it's just not something that, like, you know, knocked my socks off. So, but speaking of things that I really did enjoy, I did pick up Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez after that. And like I've said before, I don't think Abby Jimenez can do any wrong. This book was fantastic, and I am sure there are so many people talking about this book right now. It was so good. She can write a character like no other. Now, I love that most of Abby Jimenez's books, if not all of them, I believe, are set in Minnesota, which I'm from Wisconsin, so like I can relate to mostly what, you know, like the scenery is like. But I related to this book because these two characters meet in a form basically because they say that they have this curse of, you know, after somebody dates them, they feel like they meet their soulmate. And I have always joked that I feel like that is me, because for a lot of the people that I've dated, the next people they have gone on to meet have been the people they end up marrying. And so I just think it's so funny that this was the topic of this book, because I joke about it all the time. But sorry, it's definitely got to keep the cough at bay. But so these characters are so well written, and it's so funny to like hear that story. And I do believe our male main character was Justin, and I love some of the things that he comes up with, like creating a survey before they go on their dates. But not only does that story have like the funny sides of those things and that, but the, you know, the issues and the deeper side that she writes into this book, and the issues that the our female main character has with her mother. Even though I didn't like that her mother's name was Amber, it's always hard to be like the villain in a story. Just make this book super impactful. So this one was, by no surprise, 5 stars. Really enjoyed it, and I think if you have not read it yet, you should definitely pick it up. And I did like the little connections to like the other books in this series, although you wouldn't necessarily have to read them in order, but I think it helps. So all right, and then after that I picked up a book that I had learned about at my book club, I think, and this was called If I Tell by J.W. Lynn, and it was on the shorter side. I think it was only 185 pages, and to be quite honest, I don't remember a lot about it. I remember my book club, the girl at my book club, raved about it, and quite honestly, I didn't really like it. And now that I look at it, the tagline here says, "My name is Jenna, I'm 16 years old, and I think my dad is a serial killer." And so in the beginning, we have these group of friends that stumble upon a dead body out in the woods. And as the story goes on, there basically is like these rainbow killings where they find in their town, they keep finding girls wrapped up in different colors of duct tape. And these the girls suspect that it's their father. I think this is a case of I've just read too many thriller books. So I think if somebody hasn't read very many thrillers, they may have liked this. I saw the flaws in it because of how many thrillers I've read. I thought the writing was slightly juvenile. I felt like I was reading a very beginner, like YA book. But I could see if you haven't read a lot of thrillers where this one might be interesting. So that was my take on that one. But to me, it just wasn't very memorable. And then the last book that I ended up finishing in May, I'm almost positive I finished it in May. I picked up over Memorial Day weekend, and it's funny because I talked about in my June new releases that I hadn't read this one yet, and I ended up finishing it over Memorial Day weekend, and that was The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine. This was actually my first Liv Constantine book, and I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4 stars, because not that it was perfect, but I did really enjoy it. Such a unique premise of, you know, always thinking you know what somebody's life is like and you're out to get it. And I think that's kind of all I want to say about that one. It just, you know, the ins and outs of what you see and the glamour and the glitz of somebody's, you know, extravagant lifestyle and kind of the way someone can weasel their way in, just super unique. And so I'm really excited to be able to pick up the next one, because I do believe if it hasn't come out already in June, it's coming out soon. So, but I want to say it's already out. So that was the last book I picked up in May. So like I said, May was a fairly short reading month, but yes, I know this video is a little long, but I wanted to give you some of those updates. June may be another short month as well, but like I said, I'm hoping to get back on the filming train and just make sure that my content stays a little bit more consistent, and hopefully my voice will slowly get back to normal. So what did you pick up in the month of May? Anything that I should be adding to my list? Let me know in the comments below. As always, if you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.